Hey, this is a AI tier list, and this tier list will be ranking AIs based on their personalities. So basically, the strongest ones with the strongest personalities are on the top, on the S tier, and in the F tier are the weakest AIs, or what I've seen that are the weakest. And keep in mind that the difficulty here is Emperor or King level. So basically, I'm not really covering deity or this immortal too much, but I guess still like I could give some shout outs to these as well. But yeah, if you want to see like have an easy answer to deity or immortal, I think the easiest answer is that all these militaristic AIs are the strongest. But for this one specifically, I'm focusing more on the long game. So let's get into this. And first we have Americans, and I will put them to D tier because basically Americans are pretty weak. I would say that every time I play against them, I'm like, yeah, okay, good, because you can make a lot of trades with them. They are like doing these research agreements with you. They are always want to be friends and so on, like buy your stuff like your iron and horses. So and they're not really expanding that much either, like they could. So I think that they are pretty bad, but just not putting them to F tier just yet, because they are actually like going for those research agreements and for the science. So those that are at least going to the science is already like above everybody else in a sense. And secondly, we have Arabia. I would put also like maybe to the C tier, because they're doing a little bit more than Americans, and they are doing it more like sneakily. I would say that they are not really willing to trade with you that much, so they are like stronger to go against, but still like they are kind of like manageable also, and they are not also expanding too much. So I guess with the C tier, and they are definitely not a threat for your survival. So they are above, like below average, and yeah. So Arabia will be here. This guy can be traded with pretty easily as well. Not as easily as Americans, but still pretty easily. And yeah. So next we have Assyria. So thing about Assyria is that they are pretty strong early on, because they have those siege towers, right? And siege towers are pretty difficult to go against with, and I would say that yeah, but like they could destroy you pretty early on if you let them to proceed, and at start they are always going for the science and stuff. So they are kind of like sometimes a threat, but in the late game they have pretty much pissed off every other AI, and they are not as dangerous anymore. Like they are falling down with later expansion. But since they are like already above average, like they could easily beat you early on, so that's why I put them in the B tier. Yeah, so they will be staying there. And next up we have Austria. Well, Austria is one of those civilizations that I would say that yeah, these ones are not really very strong. Very easy to trade with. They are never using their bonuses. Like yeah, you can build these coffee houses, but I think it gives you more gold to buy of city states. And buying gold for attacking city states is in this game is like pretty bad. Like yeah, so usually what you want to do is just get city states under your control. But as for Austria, like yeah, I mean they have good relationships with city states, yes, but not as good as some other civilizations, because they are spending some money for buying them off and so on, like marrying them, right? So puppeting them. But yeah, I would say that Austria is like one of the weakest that I've seen. Like they are never a threat, even if when I play like above king, if I play emperor and they have been my neighbors, they are never a threat. Like I can always conquer them. It's yeah, they're very easy to beat, and they have those, I think, those hussars as a special unit. So these ones are pretty strong, but yeah, other than that, it's like not a threat. Also, I forgot to mention before that Americans have those Minutemen, right? They are they're more strong than those musketmen, but they're pretty like let's say that basically riflemen, right? And you can get riflemen pretty fast when you get musketmen already. So they are not very good for a special ability. And as for Arabia, they have camel archers. Those ones are pretty dangerous actually. Like if you go against them, it's pretty difficult to beat. But yeah, their AI usually doesn't build any horsemen or like cavalry, so I will keep them right here. So we also have Montezuma here, and for some reason they have a different kind of like icon. They have actually like built a picture of Montezuma instead of like Aztec logo, but well, that's the way it is. It's okay. For Montezuma, I would say that they are also B tier. Not as good as Assyria, I think, because they are not usually going for the science win, and usually science is the way that people win against AI. But these ones are going for more like for the military and for the culture I've seen, but culture is usually not a threat for Aztecs Aztecs, so I would say that they are only threatened early on when they're building a lot of army, but with the Jaguar warriors. But after that, it's like they are not a threat, and usually when they declare war with those Aztec special units, those Jaguar warriors, right? Then you already have like archers and stuff to defend you. So yeah, they're stronger in jungle. Okay, so I would say that I'm kind of like debating over like if they should be B tier or C tier, but I guess I would put them to C tier for now. They're a little bit stronger than maybe Arabs, but because Arabs you can actually trade with, but with Montezuma maybe sometimes when they are hostile towards you, then you are not going to have any trades with them and stuff, and they can attack you. So next we have Nebuchadnezzar. So this is the basically for a human is probably the best civilization to play against AI. And with Nebuchadnezzar you can actually with Babylon you can win against AI even with immortal and deity difficulties, because they are generating, I think, the great scientist 50% faster. That's a very huge bonus, and especially when you get them early on, then yeah, so with writing you can get a free one. I would say that you can build academy right away, but for AI they are not really using them that well. They are using them well based on science, but they are not really expanding a lot, and in this game you kind of have to expand, because if you don't expand then you will be weaker than the other AIs and weaker than the human, because human can just conquer your like 1 or 2 cities and then be done with it. But the thing about Babylon is that whenever you have those in the game, they are kind of sneaky, and they have those walls of Babylon that they are building to their capital. That means that capital has very good defense against you, and their cities are pretty difficult to capture. But other than that, they are pretty weak. They are not expanding too much, so I would put them to kind of like a B tier above Assyria a little bit, because just because of the science. Because yeah, if you don't conquer them at some point, then they might win, because based on just science. So yeah, next we have Brazil, and believe it or not, but I would put them to A tier, and the reason for that is not because they are too difficult to go against, but the reason for that is whenever you see Brazil in the game, like I know that in Immortal and Deity you wouldn't go for this, but if you want to go chase the cultural win in this game, then seeing Brazil as an opponent is not a good thing, and they can always like out tourism you with any kind of way, and then later with the ideologies they are can screw you over with all those picking those different ideologies and so on. Like that's a pain. They are really a pain to play against. I would say. Like I would say that whenever you play against them, yeah, you have like 4 ways of winning, right? You have science, you have diplomacy, you have military, and you have this cultural, and it basically, yeah, with the time as well. But the time is like usually never happens, right? Anyways, so culture also almost never happens, but sometimes when you go for the culture, when you get some civilization, like with a random pick, right? Like computer is going to choose you a civilization to play with, then you want to use their bonuses. Well, like if you play, like for example France, right? You want to use their bonuses as well, and you cannot really use them if there's a Brazil in the game, or you will have to conquer them, and that's pieces of every other AI. So that's basically it takes away one of your ways to win, and that's not a good thing, especially in a big game, like in a like huge map. Who is in the Emperor difficulty? Who is going to conquer all this land with around 12 AIs or whatever? Like there's a lot of AIs to play against, and with a huge map, they can be pretty good. I mean, obviously, like yeah, if you get a tiny map, you see that you're going for the military or science, but with a big map, you also have culture in your hands, and this one takes away. Okay, anyways, enough of Brazil. Let's go for Theodora, for the Byzantium, and I think Byzantium is really weak. I would put them in here. They almost never attack you. They don't have anything special, maybe just this boats that they have at some point, but yeah, boats are pretty easy. Just build navy and stuff. So I would say put them like to the F tier, even worse than Austria, honestly. Like Theodora is very easy to trade with. They never attack you. They can be always your friends. Whenever they have like militaristic AI next to them, they are the ones that they are getting conquered and so on. So Theodora stays here. And next up we have Dido. And with Dido is that they also usually like they are only strong in the first stage when they have those elephants, right? They have special units that is elephants, and their great generals are like first great general is after like some time, but when they discover this first general with the elephants, they can be really dangerous. But I would say that still I would put them after the first stage. They are not a threat. So if you survive their attack, if you know that they are your neighbors, just make some archers, defend yourself against them, and you will be fine. So I put them a little bit below average, like to the C tier, next to Montezuma. Their other bonus going over the mountains is also like pretty bad. So we have Celts. They are not really that dangerous. Maybe at the starting age, like getting those religion can be really annoying. That they are always getting a religion. They are always sending you missionaries and so on. Like this can be very annoying. But other than that, they can be, if you let them to develop, maybe a little bit. But most annoying thing about them is the religion, that they are basically establishing Catholicism all the time, and then every city in the map is basically with this religion, and they might take like science based on that, and then they can be ahead of science. So they have some ways to play with. They are also very like going for the army and stuff sometimes, but mostly they're going for the religion. They keep the forest, so later on they are not that dangerous. They are only dangerous at the start. So I would put them next to Dido somewhere. I would put them here. So next China. China is AI cannot play China well. I mean, they have very dangerous unit. Of course, this archer crossbowman that is shooting twice. But yeah, other than that, they have a lot of generals. Yes, okay, but computer really is very bad at playing China. They are doing miserable games with China. I would put them here to D tier. I would just put them to D tier because they are a little bit, pain to conquer, more pain to conquer than those F tier ones, but they are usually not that bad. And Denmark also like excuse me, but I've never seen a very strong Denmark in my life. Like they are always going for the military. They piss off every other AI. When they're starting next to Attila or Shaka, then they will be gone very soon. And yeah, sometimes they can even never see the last stages. So I would actually say that they are here, like maybe a little bit stronger than Theodora, but yeah, other than that, they're pretty bad. And next off we have William. William I would put to B tier. I would say that they are usually pretty decent. They are expanding quite decently. They have some good bonuses. They are very diplomatic. They have city states under their control. Yeah, so they are easy to trade with, but yeah, they're like kind of like sneaky, like Nebuchadnezzar, I would say. But they don't have that much science as Nebuchadnezzar has. They usually go for the cultural or for the other win. Yeah, cultural diplomacy win. And then we have Egypt. Egypt is well, I've seen actually some strong Egypts, but I've seen also weak Egypts. When they have tough neighbors, then they don't survive. But the annoying thing is that they can basically build all these wonders that you want to build and stuff, because they are building them pretty fast. But usually they are culture based. They are not going for the science wonders. So I would say that they are not that dangerous. Honestly, yeah, like even these Arabs are like more dangerous with the camel archers and stuff. Like chariots, yeah, I would say that probably not that dangerous. Maybe even like the wonders are annoying, but I would put them to D tier. Can I go put them above here? Yes, nice. Okay, because they are a little bit not so good to see as Americans, and they get pretty upset when you build some wonders that they coveted and so on. Like they're not as easy to drive with as Americans and so on. And next up we have English. Yeah, English is also some kind of civilization that I've seen that is doing pretty badly, because they are having longbowmen and those good man o' wars ships, right? And actually they are building a lot of those man o' wars, and longbowmen are pretty tough to go against, but they are not building enough longbowmen, and they are building navy, yes, but this navy is like when you build like battleships, what are they going to do against battleships again with the man o' wars? Nothing. So basically, yeah, I would say that England is not done injustice by the computer. They're expanding fairly well. They're pretty difficult to conquer when they are your neighbors, but not so difficult, like you can manage and so on. Like they are not that dangerous. I would say that I would put them before these Arabs. They are usually like, yes, they have longbowmen, they have those navies. That can be annoying, but they're expanding fairly well. But yeah, pretty easy to conquer, but so and so. Yeah. Next up we have Ethiopia, and Ethiopia is similar maybe to I would say to Brazil, that they are actually going for the culture all the time, and for the city state, but city states is not usually under their control, because there are other civilizations that can have city states, and Ethiopia is always difficult to attack because they have this 20% defense bonus, that a strength bonus for their troops units whenever they are going to war against you. So yeah, Ethiopia, you are pretty annoying to deal with. So for this reason, I would actually put them to B tier, like top B, because yeah, they are usually going pretty well in these games. Like I've played against them, they're doing pretty well. They are easy to trade with, but they are very sneaky. They can be your worst nightmare when you have to conquer them if they are blocking your way, and so on. Like yeah, Ethiopia stays there. They have also those how you call them. They have this military units, I think, in the industrial age that are also more difficult to deal with than the this Great War infantry that declare places, or riflemen. I don't remember, but anyways, Ethiopia is pretty decent when you go against them. When you see them, then yeah, you know that culture win is very difficult now, and but usually they tend up to build a lot of wonders, and when you conquer the capital, then you get all those wonders to yourself, so that's pretty good. And we have France also. France is actually, like, I don't understand, but first off, when I started playing Civilization 5, then France was like my worst nightmare, and now they are like my easiest. The easiest to deal with. Like, they are pretty easy to deal with, honestly, because yeah, they're going for the military and for the culture, but their military is not as great as, like, I don't know, even Tito has more military than France usually, and they are pretty easy. They're pretty easy to conquer, I would say, and they are expanding fairly reasonably, but yeah, I would say that they are like somewhere around here. Maybe before Egypt, after Egypt, like even after Egypt, I would say. Put them here. And finally, we have somebody that can be something dangerous. We have Germany. Yeah, I will talk about Germans because I will put them to S tier. The reason for that is that they can actually win against you, and when they win against you, they are going to win with the science or with military. City-states they are usually not going for, culture they are not going for, but if somebody can win you, if some civilization is going for the science, they are already more problematic, and this one likes to build all these wonders like porcelain tower. They are always going for the rationalism, and after that they are going for the ideology, whether autocracy, whether order. Both of them suit them really well because they have those special bonus of keeping more military than all the others. They have minus 25% reduction for the military cost, and they are usually very annoying to deal with and better to deal with immediately. But have I lost the game against them? Not really, because I blocked all these dangers against them, but one of them was pretty close, and they were like almost an age more than I was. They had already, I think they had infantry, and I had riflemen or something like that. Anyways, and they already had battleships. They're always going for those militaristic technologies as well. Very annoying to deal with. I would say that if they don't have a very strong neighbor that can conquer them, then they can be really annoying if they let them to develop in a separate island or something. Yeah. And let's continue. We have here Alexander, and Alexander, I would say, is even worse than is even stronger than Bismarck, because Alexander has, well, they have always city-states on their side. They have minus 25% reduction of this influence to the city-states, right? And this is very, very annoying. Like, this is insanely annoying. When you go against Alexander, then you know, first of all, if they are your neighbors, they are already difficult to conquer, right? Because they have hoplites at start. Of course, they are not going to build that much cavalry, but those hoplites in the first stage can be really annoying to deal with. And they are expanding all the time. They have city-states under their control. They have huge bonuses. They're always going to build Forbidden Palace. Like, every time I see them building this Forbidden Palace. Yes, you can never build Forbidden Palace in your game when there is Alexander in your game. And this is super annoying. Very difficult to deal with. I would say that you kind of have to whether conquer them in the medieval times or even industrial time, because medieval times can be too rough. They even have religion sometimes, and yeah, I would say that Alexander is definitely one of the stronger AIs out there. Very annoying to deal with. And next up we have the Huns. Yeah, now I would shout out to deity and immortal difficulties, I would say that Hans would be one of the worst for sure. But here in the Emperor difficulty or King difficulty, you can kind of like win those fights against like AIs. So I put them to 8 here, before Brazil, of course. Thing about Attila is that he's super good to basically, they're going to build science wonders, they're going for the science, they're going for the production, they will have a lot of army, they can conquer all these other AIs basically. They are expanding a lot, and this means that AI is stronger when they expand a lot. The weakness about them is that they kind of piss off every other AI, and they cannot have good trades with them. But other than that, they have every strong reason to be in the game, and I would say that sometimes they can be very dangerous, and in the early on, of course, they're having battering rams, and they can conquer other AIs very easily. They can even conquer you very easily with when you are not prepared for them. But usually when you see like one of those militaristic, like Tito, Montezuma, Syria, Attila, if you see one of those next to you, you start building archers and you start defending yourself. And this means that you have to recalculate your game plan, and sometimes it's not reasonable to build archers, right, because you need to build something else and so on. But they're easier to avoid than Alexander, because Alexander is, for the long game, they are stronger than this. They can actually, like, Alexander can very sneakily win you. I've even lost some games with the king difficulty against them, against Alexander, but I never lost the king difficulty against Attila. So that's the reason, like, in the S tier I put those civilizations that you can actually lose against, those that are going for the science or diplomacy win, whatever. Like Alexander is going for both, but he is very good at diplomacy and can sneakily get all these city-states on his side, unless there is other civilization in the game that wants to be good relations with the city-states like Austria. But sorry, Austria, thing about Austria is that they cannot get so many city-states under their control as Alexander does. And yeah, so we have Incas. Incas is the next one, and I would say that they're actually pretty dangerous. They are reasonably dangerous, more even, I would put them here, because yes, they have pretty big cities because of these terrace farms that they can build for the food. And yeah, so they have those special units. I think was they can go through mountains with a faster pace. I think the special units are just replacing, I think, warriors, so they are not that dangerous, but they can explore pretty fast, and they can attack you pretty fast with the mountain area. And usually they start in between mountains, so they are more difficult to conquer. But other than that, yeah, they like to go to autocracy later, and autocracy is something that keeps their happiness okay, alright, but the piss of every other AI, because no other AI usually wants to go for the autocracy. Maybe, yeah, if you have like Incas and Alexander in the game, if Alexander goes to autocracy, Incas go, yeah, they can have an alliance, but usually autocracy is not that much picked. And Incas, they have some ways to get into the game and to get dangerous, but I would not say that they are more dangerous than Ethiopia, because they don't have this bonus of 20% more damage and stuff. And Brazil also, like, they are not taking off like immediately one way to win right off the bat. Like Brazil, you can only win culturally when you're like conquering the capital, right? But or send some great musicians to the other area, but who's sending those great musicians all the time? Like everybody is usually like just playing the violin and getting this great work done, right? Yeah, so that's usually not happening. And we have India. India is He's also like very easy to trade with, very friendly. Usually goes for the democracy, freedom, order, stuff like that. I would say that they are like too good to be in this game. They're too warm-hearted, but I've seen them attacking me, but only when I piss them off really, really much. And they are usually not that dangerous. They have big cities, yes, but they are not really winning with them. So like even Arabs are more dangerous than them. So I would say that India is pretty weak. I would even put them behind China right now. To the D tier, they are not the worst because they are actually developing their cities, but other than that, they are like pretty bad. Yeah. So we have Indonesia. So Indonesia is very dependable civilization. They have this way of having maybe some expansion sometimes if they are like alone and they are attacking people. They have military. Sometimes they don't have cities and they have unique luxuries that nobody else has, which is pretty interesting. But there's nothing really that they are like ever a threat. Like every time I see there's other civilizations are more dangerous than them, and yeah, they can manage to hold down the fort for some time, but not always. So every game with them is very different. But yeah, I would say that they are a little bit. They're definitely below average, but I would say that they are a little bit stronger than Egypt sometimes. But no, actually not. They are kind of like in the US area, honestly. And next off, it's my worst nightmare, honestly. Like Yavata, Iroquois, whatever you pronounce it, but these guys are dangerous. Holy fuck! Like every time you see them, like the map gray. If you play a big map against them, you have already basically lost. They are always having gray map. Only way to win them is through science. And they are usually the ones that are going for the science as well, for the science wonders, for the Forbidden Palace, all those that Alexander likes to do as well. And they are doing it better. They are expanding even more than Alexander. And the other thing about them is that, yeah, Alexander has hoplites, right? But these guys have forest warriors, and in the start they have so much forest that the forest is really good to hide in, and so like they're really easily capturing somebody else. You can see them basically beat any other civilization that is next to them, unless you're like some of you like I don't know like let's say Montezuma asks you that Yavata has become a nuisance, let's declare war to him, then do it because they need to start fighting early on, and you have to help Montezuma to beat him. You have to send some archers or something, like even if it's just one archer, you can still capture his workers and stuff, but you have to stop him from expanding, because otherwise, if they're not starting next to you, if they're starting in the other continent or something, they're really dangerous. Unless they start from tundra, then they will be not that big of a threat, but then they're building unreasonable cities on the snow and stuff. But if they start from a good place, if they start from a good forest, then they are the most dangerous civilization in this game. I would say that the most annoying to play against. I would say that they are even worse to play against than Alexander. I think Alexander also has sneaky way to win, yes, with through diplomacy, but also Yavata is going for the diplomacy. He's doing it equally good basically as Alexander. Maybe Alexander is doing it a little bit better, yes, but Yavata is also like, he's hoarding city-states, he's going for the science, he's going for the military, only maybe to the culture some cases, but usually, like, Yavata knows how to win this game. Like, the AI knows how to win this game with this civilization here. So, guys, if you want a challenge on the map, like with the Emperor difficulty, just pick these 3, these 2 on your game, and you can see that you can have a small map with all those, and maybe one more that I will list later here. But anyways, you will see that this game will be more difficult than when you have those Byzantium and this Denmark in your game, right? So next up we have Oda Nobunaga, and Oda Nobunaga is arigato gozaimasu, and he's dangerous because he's usually having wars early on, but those fishing boats that give him more culture, yeah, he can be more social policies, but it doesn't help him too much. He's usually only going for the military, not too dangerous. I would say that he's like right next to Dido, maybe a little bit more dangerous than Dido, but yeah, he will stay around here because these three are pretty similar in the way that they play. They go for the culture. Maybe sometimes Dido is not going that much for the culture, but these two are, and they're building military at the same time like Dido. Dido is more dangerous in there early on, but later she will be not that dangerous. And next, Korea. Korea is also one of these top tier civilizations that I've seen. I'll put them right here, and the reason is very simple. They are very dangerous for maybe I would honestly put them in front of Germany. The thing about Germany is that they're really good. They are, and you can lose the game with the science against them. But Zhejiang is they have this specialist gives you more science, right? And this is already very devastating. They can build spaceship parts very fast, and yeah, I would say that they are kind of equal with the Bismarck, but in the higher difficulty. If you play Immortal or Deity, then I will put Bismarck above Zhejiang. But since you are not, then they will be in front of Bismarck, and they are going for the science win. And this is usually pretty bad when the computer plays science-based that you are playing against as well, and this one can sneak attack you with science, and this is pretty bad. They are also getting along with you really well when they are next to you. Usually you need to trade them to get some coins, to get some gold, but later on you can kind of attack them. They have those turtle ships that are pretty strong, I think, and those I think there was replaced trebuchets with something also, some arrow shooting machine. This one is also pretty dangerous, and yeah, I would say that they are definitely somebody to keep an eye on. And if they are not starting next to you, if they're starting in another continent like all those, then they can be really devastating in the late game. But yeah, if you see them right next to you, then you can trade with them and then conquer them, and after that they are not going to be that dangerous. But as long as they are in the game for the late game purposes, they are really strong. So Mayas is always gone only for the culture, I think. Not that dangerous. Like yeah, I would say that they have some army sometimes with the Emperor difficulty, but so is everybody else. Like, and I will put them here honestly. Like, if you go for the culture, yes, okay, but they're pretty easy to roll over and capture. They are starting with the hills. That's maybe only problem, that when you go through hills, then might be difficult to conquer. But yeah, and now we have Mongols. Well, AI is pretty bad at playing Mongols actually. Like, the strength of Mongols is this horse archer that they have, that has one extra movement. It can be like longbowman, and it's even more annoying than the longbowman. And for that reason, they are stronger than the England. But they are still, like, Mongols is played very badly because they usually like to capture city states, and when the AI captures city state, it's very bad because you piss off every other AI first of all, and secondly you are wasting your resources to host a war that you didn't need to fight, because this is like yeah, who wants to attack city states? You want to, like, if they would attack Yavata directly with these sword chargers and screw them over, then yes, okay. But if you're like fighting the other war, then you're not going to be very successful in it. And for that reason, they're almost never a threat, I would say. And I would honestly like put them here because they have those horse chargers. They have some means to conquer something, but to do some damage. But no, would I put them here? Maybe with the higher difficulty I would, but since we're playing with the lower difficulty right now, then I would put them with next to every other military based. Yeah, if they would do it early on, they would be more dangerous than Dido, but they are actually not. And we have Moroccans. Moroccans is actually very surprisingly high, I would say, because Moroccans is pretty dangerous. I would put them right here, maybe even above Ethiopia. The thing about Moroccans is that they like to expand. They like to have those tourism culture, and they like to build firewall. And this firewall is actually pretty bad to go against, because if you playing culture game, then you are not going to win culturally if somebody has a great firewall against you. So I will put them here, and this is they are usually very difficult to go over with the tourism part. So they are not as difficult as Brazil, of course, but still very difficult to go get the culture win against them. So they are also kind of those that want to block you to get the culture win, and that's why they are higher. They have reasonable amount of army usually. Also, they're not going for the science, so they're not really winning the game unless it's a tourism game. But they're kind of dangerous sometimes, and more dangerous than William, for example. And Suleiman is actually also pretty interesting. I would put them here. And the reason that they are stronger than these four is that they have those Janissaries that are pretty annoying. They have also some ships, if I remember correctly. They have those. Computer plays Suleiman pretty well, and I would give them credit to be around here. They are not obviously as annoying as like Attila or Bismarck, but they're pretty annoying. And we have Darius, we have Persia, and Persia is also pretty weird. They are actually pretty good, but in the late game not as good. So they're kind of like Suleiman, I would say. They're a little bit more dangerous than Assyria. They have those golden ages longer. Yeah, that can be dangerous, so I will put them here. And here we have Poland. Poland is also pretty strong, because they get these free social policies every now and then, and that can be annoying. But they are not playing Poland that well. I would say that they're playing it reasonably, but not that well. I would put them actually like around here, also B tier. And Polynesia, same story, that they are like expanding somewhat and having some cities, but having some guys. They have a pretty good start usually, pretty good areas to cover. I would say that they are kind of like Incas, that they are a little bit maybe more dangerous than Incas, and they can discover all these city states early on and get friends with them and so on. They can be a nuisance sometimes, but not all the time. And then we have Portugal. Portugal is pretty weak. Honestly, I will put them right here. They have nothing special to, very easy to trade with. Have some specific ships, but you can always build better navies with the science and stuff. So yeah, not really a threat. I would say that they are pretty easy to capture. Maybe even after Denmark here. Sometimes I've seen them expanding, but even if they are expanding, then still, I would say that the wars against them that I've fought have been pretty one-sided so far. Augustus Caesar, actually, I'll put them here. The reason for that is that they are always tend to want to attack somebody, and they want to attack you first of all. If you're not right next to them, they covet the lands that you own. They expand a lot. They're building new cities. They're this expansionist kind of. I would actually put them next to Attila even. They are pretty annoying to deal with until the age of like industrial, or after that. I think after that, the modern era. Yeah, so basically they are good until modern era, and then they start to be weaker. They are not going for that much anymore. But at start with legionnaires, with ballistas, everything that they have is pretty strong. They always attack you. They are annoying to deal with. You don't really want them as your neighbors. You have to change your game plan with them, and so on. So I would keep them there. Now we have Russia, and Russia I would put to S tier also. I would not put them above those two, but they can be annoying, because about Russia is that they have so much production. They can build a lot of army. They can build a lot of nukes later on. They are going for the space race. They're doing like military or space, and sometimes even culture, but basically they are very annoying to deal with. They're building a lot of towns as well. Like maybe with the king difficulty not as tough, but with emperor difficulty they have been nuking me there and back all the time. They're fairly strong, I would say. That very dangerous to play against, and they can even win you with the space race and stuff. So yeah, I will keep Russians here in the S tier. Now we have Shoshone. These ones are very easy to trade with. They are pretty friendly usually, but they have this city expansion that is very annoying. That they are like building a lot of cities with a huge area. They have not a lot of cities, but they are building reasonable amount of cities, and they have a huge population. Really difficult to conquer those cities, because you have to walk in the territory for a long time, and when they build the Great Wall, it's even worse. But yeah, definitely not as dangerous as those, but I will put them still here, because I've seen them going for. The AI kind of knows how to use them well, so kind of put them here, I would say. Bottom 8 here. They are not as dangerous as those above, but they are pretty dangerous. And then we have Siam, Hank, or whatever he's called. Actually, for him, honestly, I would put him here, because let me explain. He has elephants in the age that you want to conquer them with. They always get along with the city-states, like also like Austria gets along with them, but this guy can kind of have a big army. Then he has a dangerous army, and he has city-states on his side pretty early on, and that makes him pretty dangerous. Like I've seen them next to Celts, for example. They can easily beat them, easily. All those city-states in their side always beat them. Like yeah, if you don't have like Alexander or Hiawatha in the game, or Austria, or Venice or whatever, but then these guys can be a nuisance, and you kind of always forced to pick patronage to just keep an eye on them in this sense. And they have those nasty elephants that can help them with this. And yeah, the special power was something, I think, also more food or culture or something that's pretty good. And also what I forgot to mention, why I ranked Ethiopia right here, is the reason that they can build the best building in the game. That's something that replaces the monument and gives you also 2 faith in a turn or something. That's like crazy. That's like 2 shrines already. And that saves you a lot of time to build. And when the computer does that, they always get a religion. They will be annoying and so on. And these guys, they usually get this religion as well. They like to mess around with religion, with the city states. The city states will be on their side because of the religion and so on. Like, very annoying to deal with. And those elephants can defend them pretty well unless you're building pikemen. That usually is not the case, because you build whether pikemen or musketmen, and pikemen can be upgraded to lancers. It doesn't help against them. So yeah, I would say that that they are kind of here. And we have Songhai Askia. Askia is also pretty strong actually. They are pretty expansionist as well. They're doing some wars. They can go for freedom, still be fine. They covered some wonders. They're easy to trade with, but still they are always like dangerous kind. They can build those mud pyramids that can give you some faith, like Ethiopia. Honestly, I would put them right here, maybe like next to Ethiopia, or yeah, I'll put them here. The reason, no, actually, you know what, I'll put them here because still they are a little bit stronger than these because they are expanding so much, and that's very annoying to deal with, is when you have a lot of towns to play against and so on. And yeah, those mud pyramids definitely help them and so on. Well, we have Spain. Spain is usually pretty easy to conquer as well. I would say that they are only strong at the start because they are getting those wonders. Those wonders are like if you discover natural wonder, you get like some gold, and this gold is going to help you to build your army, and that's what I think that they are doing usually. The trading with, they get the luxury is going to expand. The start is pretty good, so the start is pretty good, and they can fight in the early stages, even against Yavata or something if you help them. So I will put them like right here. So maybe even here. Yeah, they're, because just the starting age, like ancient era or classical era, they are fairly strong. Yeah, they have a good start. But if they don't have natural wonders to bank on then anymore, like in their territory, then they're getting pretty weak. They are very easy to conquer by the other civilizations. But if you let them to have those bonuses, they can grow, but and spread their religion and stuff as well. So yeah, I would keep them here. So we have Sweden. Sweden is usually pretty militaristic for some reason, even though they should be more like city-state based, but usually they piss off every other AI because they host wars. Unless they start in their own continent, then they will be friends with everybody and so on. But easy to trade with, getting those research agreements, but yeah, nothing special. I will put them after Austria. And we have only 2 civilizations left now. I don't know why they doubled here, but yeah, let's see. Venice definitely here. The worst civilization in the game. I don't think that anyone needs an explanation for that, but I will say it anyways. They are not expanding much. They have great merchants that they could use for money. They have a lot of money to buy city states, yes, okay, but so has Austria, so has Alexander, so has Yavata, so has Ramkhankhang. So Venice has really nothing special going for them. The Great Calais is great, but that's only like in the starting age, and Venice is the most peaceful civilization in the game as well. And whenever you piss off with the warmongering, they will be angry at you. Everybody is on their side, of course. If you conquer them, then you will have to be ready that everybody will denounce you. But no, I mean, all the games end up denounced you anyway. So you're the competition, so it's okay. And I would say that Venice is very easy city-state to conquer, and nothing special really going for them. Even I know that many of you guys know that done some games with the deity and immortal difficulty, and you tried against Venice because Venice is the easiest to go for. as an opponent. Maybe even like ban all the city states in your game. Then you can beat the difficulty 80. You can see. So yeah, you can see that how to beat 80 with this. Very easy. And Zulu Shaka. Zulu Shaka will be next to Attila. The reason why they are not maybe above Attila is that Attila has both capability for the long game and for the short game. But Zulus is only until the industrial age, right? Like before that they are pretty strong. But after you get your riflemen or something, then those impies will not be a problem anymore. And yeah, all they have is like impies and spam, and they are always going to attack you. They only go for military, they are not going for anything else. And whenever you see them as your neighbor, you have to prepare for the war against them. And maybe some long wars as well, because sometimes in the industrial age is the time that I conquer them, and then I go like in the tiny map, right? You have 3 other AIs with you. It's really annoying to see Zulus, but this list is for the long-term game. If they're like far away from you, they're not a threat. But if they're like starting next to you, yes, you have to change your game plan. You have to kind of like block their CDC spam. You kind of have to beat their impies somehow. Have to find something against it. But other than that, it's pretty okay. I would say that that there is some ways. Like there was one game that I had was Zulus was next to me. I was playing Spain. I was discovering those natural wonders. I got some gold, good gold for military purposes, and then I attacked them, get some experience, and the wars continued until the industrial age. That was like I think 20 turns later I win the game already. I conquered other civilizations because just because like Zulus were so tough that I had so much army built already that I went to the other civilizations, conquered them as well, their capitals, and win. Boom. Usually, yeah, when you win, you go for the science or military. In the smaller maps, it's always military. Like until small map, maybe yeah, small map, you usually go for the military as well. But in the standard map, I think you win with the science or military, or sometimes with this culture as well, and with diplomacy, right? But yeah, if you have any of these in the game, then you will have to rethink of your strategy and stuff, and you have to also block them to do their own winnings. Like sometimes I've seen that Ramkang Hang is really good at cultural as well, that his culture is already in the tiny map spreading towards you, so you have to build some culture buildings and so on. So that's why I put him above everybody else here. But yeah, this is the only part that maybe like some guys can argue, but everybody knows why Attila and Zulu are here. When there will be, of course, like Deity or Immortal, then I will put them like right at the top, because they are really annoying to deal with militaristically. But yeah, other than that, I would say that it would be pretty fine like this. So this is my tier list. Hope you enjoyed. And yeah, after 3 years of break, I think I will do some more tier list videos, maybe for Civilization 5. And yeah, for Heroes of Might and Magic I will think about it, but let's see in the future. Peace out.